All right, welcome to the show, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. Darrell, quick question. When is this show coming out? Is it after Christmas or before Christmas? Oh, this will be before Christmas. All right, so it's December 13th right now. And as of this show, we are nearing the end of the year. What are mortgage rates here? Boy, there's been a lot of talk about mortgage rates. We are seeing a lot of offers coming across the desk these days. I am in a very competitive bidding situation on a house. And just personally, it is about the worst time. Realist from a business standpoint or investing standpoint, there's always a good time to be buying real estate. Like if you bring me a deal, deal makes sense, I'm going to go do it. I'm looking at a house right now that there are, in less than 2 weeks, it's been under contract 3 times, multiple offers, multiple buyers, absolutely wild. I'm supposed to find out here any minute if we got it under contract. But my guess is, and it is in a absolute vacation spot, was one of the things I've said for about a year and a half now as rates started to rise. The market that I'm going to see most impacted are vacation and second homes. That just makes total sense. Like, well, honey, we want to get a beach house, or want to get a mountain house, or want to get the snow house, or you want to get the lake house. And all that sounds great until rates go from 5 to 8. And you're like, whoa, I don't know. Maybe we don't really need that vacation home yet. Now, that doesn't mean prices have fallen. It just means those markets have slowed way down. And I can tell you, in the last week, since I've been on this deal, I walked the property Thursday. I saw it when it hit the market. And by the time I could do anything about it, I was busy doing work stuff, looking at other deals. This house is about an hour and a half from where I live. So it's not like I can just zip out there and go look at it. So I'm looking around. I'm like, when are we going to go see this thing? And then by the time I start to schedule a time, boom, it goes pending. I'm like, all right, well, let's see what happens. Then it falls off the market. You're like, okay, cool. So last Thursday, jump in the truck, meet my agent. I bet we looked at 6 or 8 properties in one afternoon, in one submarket. Found a couple of deals up there, went and looked at this property. I was like, man, I really like this. 9:45 in the morning, we're standing there at 10, pops pending. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Call the listing agent. Hey, you guys taking backup offers? He's like, well, here's the story with why it broke out of contract the first time and who we're under contract with now. And I was like, okay, so do you want us to submit a backup offer? He goes, yes, submit a backup contract, not just an offer, but an actual contract. I said, okay, fine. So we fired that off. Saturday morning, I signed a bunch of contracts, whole bunch of offers. So signed that Saturday morning. Sunday night or Monday, today's Wednesday. Sunday night or Monday. It was yesterday. Was I out at the house or was it Monday? I think it was Monday. So Sunday, I get this text. Hey, the buyers are trying to renegotiate with the sellers based off the inspection report. So I get an email with the inspection report in it. It says, look, do you guys object to any of this stuff? And I said, well, it does need a roof, but these other things are kind of Mickey Mouse things, minor electrical stuff. The grounding in the panel, the electrical panel is not done. It's not that it's not done right. It's a 30-year-old home. It's become disconnected. Somebody needs to go in there and do it the right way. No big deal, right? Purlins in the attic. If you guys have ever had a house down here in Houston, or at least in Texas, I don't think I've ever been to a house, with exception to brand new construction, where the purlins are actually done right. That's a very common issue down here. Now, when the inspector looks at it, he'd have you believe that the roof of the house is going to blow off any minute. It's been there 30 years. It's never had enough purlins, and it's been just fine. But anyways, it's one of those things that you'll see time and time again. And some other Mickey Mouse stuff, wood rot, hole in some sheetrock in the garage, like just typical stuff. So we come back and say, well, I'm cool with this stuff on here and I'm good at my price. So the last 48 hours have been a constant back and forth with the seller and the seller's agent. So we'll see what happens there. But my point is, rates are down again today. We're at 7.02%, almost 7 flat. We are 3 weeks about 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks towards the end of the year. And my prediction that rates would be coming down by the end of the year was right. So if you watch Logan Madashami's update for Housing Wire 2 days ago, he will tell you one thing is for certain. We are probably going to be in the sixes by the end of this year, end of 24, which it may actually be lower than that. Heck, if the mortgage spreads were just tighter, we'd probably be in the fives now. Like we're between 1.5% and 2% just in mortgage spreads, meaning the spreads in the between the bonds and the mortgage. And the problem with that is it's all the uncertainty in the banking crisis and all that stuff that happened earlier this year. If the spreads were more normal, we'd already be in the fives. So we don't need the Federal Reserve to do anything. They just need to hang out, just do nothing. In fact, Powell is talking right now. I don't know where he's at. Let me see here. Watch live. Hold on. Fed did nothing on rates. He is speaking somewhere and giving his, insightful advice. But it's the FOMC press conference at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So he's still speaking right now. And my guess is it's going to be let's hold and wait and see what happens next. But what I know is going to happen, and that's the title of today's show, Supply Creates Demand. In real estate is the only commodity product that I know that when supply is created, demand is also created. Now, 2008 is one exception. But if you look at real estate, since the days of very beginning of real estate, what you'll know is people do not sell their homes to become homeless. That's something that Logan says over Housing Wire, and he's 100% right. No one sells their home and goes, oh, well, we closed? Deal's done? Well, honey, I guess we're just going to live in our car until we find another house. That's not how real estate works. What happens is supply comes on the market in the form of new active listings. And those new listings are people going, hey, I think I want to sell my house. In fact, if I end up buying this house in this community, I'm probably going to sell the house that I'm living in. But I'm not selling the house I'm living in until I got another house. That's kind of how that works. Being homeless, I haven't had to do it a whole lot, is not fun. Not like living under a bridge homeless, but like, you're graduating college, you're waiting for those letters to come in or offers for that first job, and you're like couch surfing at a buddy's place or living with mom and dad. That's not fun. It's cool for a while, but not fun long term. Nobody in America buys and sells houses like that. So the existing home sales market, 90% of those people are looking to buy another home. So 90% of the active listings you see, someone is going to just trade up, trade down, trade across, trade. They're trading one single family house for another. So hopefully, and although they claim this is not true, but it's got to break somewhere. And that is, as rates fall, we're hoping we'll see more supply. And what that means is more supply means more demand, and you're going to see a rapid increase in prices. The scary thing, and this is what Logan's saying right now, the scary thing is if rates fall, demand picks up, and there's no more supply. This is the theory I'm operating on. And that is, you have got to buy real estate right now. I've said this for years. We got a little lull here for the last 6 or 9 months where sales absolutely collapsed. But here's something you need to recognize. As fast as sales declined and as fast as rates went up, they can go in the opposite direction just as fast, if not faster. What if we woke up tomorrow, Putin is doing Putin stuff over there, whatever that means. Ukraine is trying to negotiate a peace deal, which, by the way, I read a really interesting report yesterday. Do y'all remember the Air Force? Was he I can't remember what his rank was, but he was leaking classified information about Ukraine on Discord. Well, they actually ended up just charging his supervisor as well. Fascinating, because in January of 22, he was leaking the Ukrainian battle plans, and the U.S. assessment basically says Ukraine doesn't have a chance. And if they go into this big surge mode, they're going to lose big time, which ended up happening almost a year later. So really interesting the military knows Ukraine cannot win. Like, they just know it. But they're also not the darling child right now. Joe Biden said, hey, here's your last $200 million for you to steal. Oh, I'm sure that's not happening over there, but I'm absolutely sure it's happening. But we don't go through that many Stinger missiles and all of a sudden have to start making some more. So here's the problem. If we wake up tomorrow and Putin decides to just take all of Ukraine, oh my gosh, or start shooting nuclear weapons, which he won't, but rates may just drop to spur the economy. There may be what's called an exogenous threat that requires monetary policy intervention. Could be a terrorist attack, could be God knows what. Here's what I can tell you. Rates are not going up. They have hit their peak. We are headed on the way down. And then that is going to open up a massive number of buyers to the marketplace. It's not the Fed rate. The Fed doesn't even have to do anything. Just inject a little more certainty into the marketplace and it's going to run like wildfire. So supply is going to create its own demand. However, and we've seen this time and time again, as rates fall, typically more houses don't come on the market. The exact opposite ends up happening. In fact, you can see that since 2008. We keep lowering rates, and what keeps happening? The amount of homes available for sale keeps falling dramatically. 2008, we had about 4 million homes on the marketplace. I think we're under 1 million right now. Like 700,000, 600,000, something like that. It's a pretty low number. And then when you look at it in context of working Americans, we have 157 million people working in the United States right now. 157 million. I get it, not all of them can afford homes. But we have 157 million working adults who could be potentially chasing after 600,000 homes. I think that's one big thing a lot of people forget. We have 157 million people. I mean, let's just call it 10% of that. We have 16 million people, 10% of the workforce. We have 16 million people chasing after 600,000 homes. You tell me what happens with the price of real estate when that really gets kicked off in earnest. So again, if you're waiting to kind of figure this out, you really don't have much time. Rates are going to decrease. I don't see a big supply or just a whole bunch of new houses coming on the market. In fact, some of the home buying companies that people claim are no longer buying are sending me offers right now on property, on vacant single family property. So the red doors of the red door, no, it's open door, pink door, American Homes, they're back to buying. Now they're not buying hundreds of houses like they were. Those guys are coming back. I can already see it. I'm seeing the offers coming in. I'm getting hit up by Open Door right now. It's just a matter of time. And when it opens up, you're going to look around and it's going to be like COVID all over again, where you're going to get a year of 25% appreciation. Now, it might not all happen next year. I'm still waiting for the data to come in. Might be Q4 next year, Q1 25. But I think you've got about another 12 months of snagging some stuff and then moving on. I'll give you a good example. I was looking at a deal, just went under contract, on the market one day, not too far from this office, maybe a mile or two. This is Spring Branch, a really great market. There is a house that just went pending in a day. I want to say it's 500 square feet, 600 square feet for 160 grand. The lot is like 2,300 square feet. So why did somebody buy that? Because you can probably rent the thing out $1,200-$1,300 and the appreciation is going to be wild. So supply creates its own demand. Like I said, if there are less than 10% of home sales where that home owner is then going to move into an apartment complex. In fact, most of those folks, those 10% that don't buy a home, a lot of times it's from folks retiring. They may already own the retirement home, so they're selling their house here. Sometimes it's to move into hospice and that sort of thing. It's a healthcare related issue. But 90% of the supply you see is demand. So if you see, oh, Jason, 400 homes just came on the marketplace this week. Okay, I'm telling you right now, what is 410%. So 410 is so 360 of those are people going to buy homes. Only 40 of those are really new supply. So as rates decline, this is my big fear. As rates decline, inventory does not rise. And if that happens, you're going to see a run on housing, and it's going to cause massive increases in the price of real estate. Now, rental property rent rates are a little bit different. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Rent has really leveled out. So I'm kind of curious to see what rental demand is going to look like going forward. But, if you're in a big job town like Houston is, starting from Conroe all the way to Galveston, from Brookshire all the way to Beaumont, that's the target market for jobs in Texas. And I think we're going to see, we'll see how leases end up. We're having there's a lot of new apartment complexes that are coming on the market in the next 2 years. But in any case, guys, if you're interested in doing anything with us, joining our mastermind, go to mrtxre.com, mrtxre.com, and we will see you guys on the next show.